והטובונים שירו למלך והטובונים שירו 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 למלך בספרס מפויו והטובונים שירו שירו והטובונים שירו למלך אוי הטובונים שירו 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 למלך בספרס מפויו אוי 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 ואשרי עבודו ועבודו המשמיעים בקוי שבחוי והטובונים שירו 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 למלך שירו שירו למלך Oy vi ashle yavodo voyavodo Oy hamash mi yim bekoy shi bekoy Ve atovo anim shiru 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 la melech shiru la melech Oy vi ashle yavodo
Shalom, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shavua. May God bless you. God be with you. How you guys are doing today? Hopefully you are enjoying your Sabbath and you're enjoying your Friday. I'm glad about that. So, how you guys are doing today? After a long time, I think a week at least a minimum. So I miss you, and here I am to go through and talk about our Mark chapter 14. We're going to unpack a little today, and tomorrow we'll be doing the same thing, and I will try to conclude this Mark chapter by this week. I'm not sure, but I'll try. But anyways, let us not wait for anything, or without any further ado, let us jump and unpack Mark chapter 14. I'm going to read some verses today and then move on from there. Mark chapter 14. Now the Passover and festival of unleavened bread were 2 days away, and the chief priests and the scribes were seeking how to arrest him covertly and kill him. For they were saying, not during the festival, otherwise there will be a riot of the people. Let's stop here and discuss. And it says that the chief priests in a plural. It's That's what the Bible says. The Mark Gospel 14, verse 1, it says that the chief priests, usually there will be only one chief priest in the building or the temple. As I told you before, Sadducees were the temple in charge. Pharisees were never, because Pharisees were against the Roman kingdom and the Roman ruling. But Sadducees were in a close contact with the Roman kingdom, and also Sadducees probably bribed some money to the Roman rulers to become the chief priest, because the whole city was under the control of Roman kingdom, and even including the administration of the temple was under the Roman kingdom. But the Sadducees were kind of bribing them and trying to get this chief priest post every year. And most of the times, the chief priest is the one who goes inside the Holy of Holies, and most of the time they get killed. So, but even then, every year there was a killing about the chief priest, but their people always wanted to become a chief priest. That's why a bunch of people always are trying to become a chief priest, and that's why they call the chief priest in the multiple, in the plural, but usually only one chief priest, was there to do all these ritual procedures. So, but the Roman kingdom, Pharisees never had any problem of the Messiah, and there were a lot of people claiming as Messiah. Pharisees never had any issues with it, because they were already against the Roman kingdom and Romans, and they're expecting a Messiah. They never bothered about who was Messiah, and they never went against them. But the Sadducees was the one always against Jesus Christ. So if Jesus wanted to go against anybody, it was only Sadducees, not the Pharisees. But in the first word, that's why it said that the chief priests in plural, but actually there's only one chief priest, but there were a lot of people that were trying to become chief priests. Every year there was, whenever the chief priest, the existing or incumbent chief priest dies, all the rest of the people compete each other, bribing the Roman people to become one of the chief priests. Why would they want to do? Because anyhow, at the end of the year, they may die, because you cannot go into the Holy of Holies without any purities. If you're walking in with the purities, you will get killed, or you will be beaten by the angel, and you will be died. That's one of the belief, and then it was happening there. But still then, they were trying to become a chief priest. Like nowadays, people try to become bishop all the time, the competition. So that was the thing. So let's move on, chapter. So they were plotting, Sadducees are plotting something to go against Jesus Christ, to kill him, but not on the festival day. While he was in Bethany at the home of Simon the leper, he was reclining at the table, and a woman came with this alabaster vial of very expensive perfume of pure nard. She broke the vial and poured the perfume over his head. But there were some indignantly remarking to one another, "Why has this been sold for over 300 denarii, and the money given to the poor?" And they were scolding her. But Jesus said, "Leave her alone. Why are you bothering her? She has done a good deed for me. For you always have the poor with you, and whenever you want, you can do good to them. But you do not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand for the burial. Truly I say to you, wherever the gospel is preached in the entire world, what this woman has done will also be told in memory of her. This is an interesting subject because if you might have all heard about this incident, even people were preaching and everything, people are asking why the disciples were asking why that woman spent that much money unnecessarily, because it would have been it would have been nice if she sold that for a good amount of price. That money should have been used to poor people. That was the every time thing, like every day preaching. So many people were told, and even the disciples were telling other day. But Jesus told that do not say this. So that is there's something different also you can see, because Jesus was telling, one word. This word is unbelievable because he says that leave her alone because beggars are always with you. The poor you have with you always. And whenever you want, you can do good to them. But you do not always with me. I'm not going to be with you always because I'm going to be buried. And then she did that for, as an example of, embodying, so that's what she was doing, embalming me before I could be able to, I could be buried. It's like a funeral thing that she was doing. At least she did this one. So don't, be, angry on this woman, and what she did was wrong. So this was Jesus telling. But actually, you think this, guys, where and how Jesus used his word. Let us go and find out. This was in Deuteronomy chapter 13. This was already told. Let us see. I think I need to see this one. Deuteronomy 15 verse 21. Let's go and read this one. Deuteronomy 15 verse 21. Deuteronomy chapter 15. Okay. Where is it? I messed it up. Oh my God. And you said him. Was it Deuteronomy 15? 1 second, folks. Yeah. But the beggars can never be seized out of the world. But really, I missed that word. Is this the 1321? Because every time when we read this one, it changes, because I'm reading a new American version, which I never used to do that American Standard Version. Let's read in something else, some other version, what it says, because I was so taken up. Deuteronomy chapter 15, and we'll see what it says here. Maybe, let's see. Oh my God, I missed this chapter, folks. I am. I'm not. There is a one verse. It says, where is it? Nope. So I will tell you that there's a verse in the Deuteronomy. I think it's a 15:20 or 13:20. I just totally forgot. What it says is basically it says that I have read that book. I read that one. It was like you shouldn't be conceits. Yeah. The beggars will never be, seized out of the city or the town. The beggars always be there in the world. Always beggars will be there. I won't be there with you guys. So that's why she did. So the bottom line is, it was already said in Deuteronomy, the same verses. Jesus is replying, or Jesus is repeating the same verses. So it's not a new thing that Jesus said that, beggars will be there all around you. I won't be there, because it was already told in Deuteronomy. The same verse Jesus is repeating in Mark chapter 14. So therefore he's saying about the beggars can never be seized out of the world. Beggars could never be seized out of the world. That's what the Deuteronomy talks about. But what, you have to provide for these beggars all the time. That's the main idea he was telling. But on the other thing, in this Bible, what we're talking here is that always they would say, this lady was doing embalming. That's unusual. Who would do when you're alive having this embalmment? That is unusual. Nobody would do, to a person, you're going to die, so we'll do embalming. He is alive. This is not a natural process of doing embalming anybody just like that, telling him that you're going to die within some time and I'm going to embalm you. That will scare him out of the thing, and maybe sometimes people get angry on that one. Maybe relatives might get angry, but that's a very unusual thing that Jesus was telling that she is doing ahead of my death. I mean, that's and then people in there is no question for that one. They took it easy, or what is this? Like something is already taken granted. So, and that's one of the things that it's always surprises. When nobody is asking any questions about that. So let's go and read this one. And why it went back again? Mark chapter 14. Okay. So, for you always have the poor with you, and whenever you want. Okay. Then Judas Iscariot, who was one of the 12, went off to the chief priests in order to betray him to them. They were delighted when they heard this and promised to give him money, and began seeking how to betray him at an opportune time. This is another doubt, because being Jesus as God, being Jesus was projected as God, or Jesus was claimed as God, he should notify him already, because how come he couldn't notify Judas Iscariot is going to do like this? And also the betrayal from the friends. I mean, we all went through at some one point, our closest friends betrays in some areas, in some of our lives. It's a very common thing in this place. So there's nothing new about the betrayal of by the friends for anybody in the world. It's always a common thing, which happens, and there's nothing new in this one. So, but Jesus says here that he was betrayed by somebody, who had this to give him money and began to seek him. So on the first day of, and then the last part, and verse 12 it says, on the first day of the unleavened bread, when the Passover lamb was being sacrificed, his disciples said to him, where do you want us to go and prepare ye to eat the Passover? And he sent two of his disciples and said to them, Go into the city, a man carrying a pitcher of water will meet you. Follow him, and wherever he enters, say to the owner of the house, the teacher says, where is my guest room in which I may eat the Passover with my disciples? And he himself will show a large upstairs room furnished and ready. Prepare us there. The disciples left, came to the city, and found everything just as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover. So, here basically, during the Passover time, Jerusalem will be completely bombarded or completely, blast with this Jewish people, because people come from northern part of Israel, people come from southern part of Israel. Every Jewish will be gathered in Israel, at Israel, so to celebrate this Passover festival. At the same time, there are several other festivals also happening at the same day, because the Feast of Unleavened Bread falls on Nisan 15, but the Passover lamb has been done on 14th of Nisan. It was done before the unleavened bread already. It was done like 14th afternoon itself. They kill the lamb and then they start eating it. But here it says Passover festival was 15th, but Jesus didn't eat the bread on Passover. He ate it before one day, but the Mark claims it on Passover day, on the first day of Passover. No, it was the 14th. Before that, the unleavened bread was been eaten up. I mean the lamb was eaten up. So and he also said in this one, truly I say to you that one you will betray me, one is eating with me. They began to greet and to say to him one by one, surely not I. But he said to them, it's one of the 12, the one who dips bread with me in the bowl. For Son of Man is going to be going away just as it is written about him. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been good for that man if he had not been born. So Jesus was telling that, one of the guy will be going to betray, but he knew it already, right? If he knew it already, why can't he tell his name and then this is the guy who is going to betray me? He could have told very easily, because God, knew everything, right? So, and after singing a hymn, they went out to the Mount Olives, and Jesus said to them, you will all fall away, because it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the shepherd will be scattered. But after I am raised, I will go ahead you to Galilee. But Peter said to him, even if they all will fall away, yet I will not. So let's see what is the cases here. Even if you go and see Leviticus 23, 5 to 6, 7, and then Numbers 28, 16 or 17, unleavened bread is on the 15th day of Nisan, not on the 14th day. It's very, very clearly said that. But Mark writes it on 15th day, the first day of the Passover, unleavened bread. Passover lamb of Eve, Passover is meaning the 15th day or not the 14th day. Afternoon itself they cut the Passover lamb. So first day of the unleavened bread is on the 15th day. That's the only thing that I told you already. Is on 15th. Disciples ask him before Passover, but Jesus tell him after. Psalm 41:9 it says that, behold, good friend or bread with him. So Psalm 41:9. Let us go and read Psalms 41:9. Whether if we can find out something like that, what it talks about. Psalms 41:9. Because most of the Christians would say this is the prophetical thing. Psalm was Psalm 41. Yeah, it says, even my close friend, in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has lifted us up his heel against me. As I told that every one of us, we got betrayed by our friends at one point in our life. It's not a big new thing, something that is invented over here. Second of all, it looks like that, as if that Jesus was telling on his own words all these things in Psalm. It is like a prophetical words. That's what the Christianity tells. In that case, if we just move up, he says in the words, the same chapter 41:4, he says that, Lord, be gracious to me. I mean, like, forgive my sins. How that means? Did Jesus sin before? Heal my soul, for I have sinned against you. That's the claim of Jesus in Psalms 41:4. If people say, the commentary says that Jesus was telling about the betrayal of one of his friends, that means before 4 lines, it is not about Jesus said that, 41:4 is Jesus was claiming this is the prophetical thing. No, that's wrong. Because in the 4th word of the chapter, it says that, God, I have sinned against you. When did Jesus sin against God? That doesn't match us, right? So it is not a prophetical way of thinking of this chapter Psalm 41, but most of the time it has been used by the Christianity that this is the chapter of, God talks about the bread, the one who betrayed one of his closest friends. Every friend betrays everyone. It's not the only closest friend only. Okay, that's one thing that you should know about what Psalms, Jesus talks about here. So in 1 Corinthians 11:23, Paul claims he received a private revelation, eating his body and drinking his blood. That's what the Paul claims. In Mark chapter, if you read completely, in Mark chapter 14, he never says anything, any word about you have to do it in remembrance of me, in keeping this one as a remembrance. But whereas in Paul, in 1 Corinthians 11:23, that's what he says in 1 Corinthians, first, my goodness, sorry guys, American Standard Version, in first, no, why is that? First Corinthians. Okay, where is that? In the 1 Corinthians, verse number 23. That's what we're going to look into. Verse number 11th chapter, 23rd word. But no, not Romans. Okay, let's go and read. For I received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Jesus, in the night in which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, This is my body, which is for you. This do in remembrance of me. This, where did Jesus told in Mark? Mark never said, Mark never recorded this one, but Paul claims that he had. That means Christianity in the first century, it is not a repeated thing that Mark was talking about this one, but Paul writes it because he had some vision. He was been seeing these things, and no evidence for that, no complete evidence. Somebody is along with Paul or not, but he just claimed it. So you have to do in remembrance of me for all these days. Jesus never told in Mark Gospel, only Paul tells in his book, and which is not a good thing to do, and which is a questionable thing to have this one, right? So, there's no evidence at all. In Acts 2:42-46, what was a disciple's spiritual life? There was no Eucharist, said about in Acts chapter 42-46, because disciples never had this one of practice. This is only later on practice by Paul to bringing this communion thing, You must take this one as a remembrance of me every time. No, it's not written in the Bible at all. There's nothing like that in Tanakh. But this man was this was a common practice of a pagan world. There was a common practice of having this type of a thing. This was entered into Christianity, and today we are following the same thing till date. Okay, Jeremiah 31 says that again there is a new covenant in Jeremiah 31. In Jeremiah there was no ceremony mentioned, but in Jeremiah 31st it is the end time prophecy said that and still yet to happen. Whatever Jeremiah 31 talks about, it was already been done, or it is been expected in upcoming future. It's a future prophecy. That's what Jeremiah was talking about. Okay, where is this? I'm looking for my Bible here. Okay, so where is that? Jeremiah 31. Let's see. Okay, that's Jeremiah 31. It says that, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, as yet he shall use his speech in the land of Judah and the cities thereof, when I shall bring again their captivity, the Lord bless thee, habitation of justice, the mountain of holies. Where is that? They're talking about Jeremiah 31 was raised as a new covenant of Christians claim, and in Jeremiah there was no mention. Oh my goodness, where I'm reading, that's it. I'm looking at Deuteronomy 13, Jeremiah 31. Where is Mark? Oh my goodness, I should have been gone back there. I should have kept this one as like this. Okay, Mark chapter 14. Yeah, he says that and he took the bread, and when he had blessed, he brake it and gave to them, and said, Take ye, this is my body. And he took up, and when he gave thanks, he gave them, and they all drank of it. And he said to them, This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out of many. Verily I say to you, I shall no more drink of the fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it new kingdom of God. So, Jesus never said that you should keep in remembrance of me. It was told by Mr. Paul, and it was in 1 Corinthians 11:23, but which has no evidences, no tangible evidence, or nothing. Nothing was given. Just Paul had a vision, and he said that this was God told. That was a big, huge difficulty, problem with the disciples of Jesus in Jerusalem and with Paul all the time. That's one of the things. Okay, guys. So let's see. It is not a covenant made to Gentiles only. It is not the new covenant made to Gentiles only, because renewed covenants, God will be placing Torah in our hearts, and we'll be loyally faithful to God and observe it. Zechariah 13:6 says it was talking about the false prophet, not about the Jesus, because Jesus was telling that that people will be scattered out, and then like sheep that he's going to chase out of that one. That's what he was talking about. Zechariah says in 13:6 that he was talking about the false prophet, not the Jesus thing. Let's read in Zechariah 13:6 what exactly they're talking about. Zechariah chapter 13. Zacharia. Zechariah, verse 13. Okay. So Zechariah 13 says about the wounds of the arms, and what are the wounds of the arms? Because that is mentioned about Jesus Christ regarding the Gethsemane, in the Kolkata crucifixions. But in Zechariah 12:13 says that this is not about the Jesus, this is about the Israel people, and it never talked about, Zechariah 13 was talking about the false prophets should be put to death whenever they do mistakes. That's what the Zechariah 13 talks about. But people quote in Zechariah 13, it talks about Christianity. Folks, till now on the Mark 14, we have seen the Passover day, and we have seen the scent or the perfume poured out by this woman wasn't it's not kind of a matching there. And also we saw that one, the remembering and drinking the bread and wine, and the bread was not a usual one. As Paul created this thing, and he said that God revealed him, or Jesus revealed him. Jesus, why only revealed to Paul? Why Jesus or God never revealed to any of the disciples over there? Who is Paul? And Paul was not even a disciple, right? So there was a huge thing that Paul was talking about, and that's why they were continuously having this communion thing, which is a pagan process of worshipping their gods that came into the Christianity, and they kicked up there. But Jesus never said, when he was talking to the disciples in Mark chapter 13, he never said that, do this in remembrance of me. He never said that. Go and read Mark chapter 14, you will find out what I'm saying is right or not. All right, folks, today let us stop here and let us go back and let us come back again tomorrow, maybe with the good ones, with the complete thorough finishing of Mark chapter 14. All right, guys, take care, enjoy the time. Bye bye. Shabbat shalom, Shavvato. May God bless you. God be with you. Take care. Bye bye.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נעשה בחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל ימלוך נורא, והוא היה, והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם השם מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת עשה בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה